I also had to make a load of derelict spaceships. So Brian said, do you think you could do 4, maybe 5 derelict spaceships as well? And he said, I can give you a bit longer because the next episode we're doing doesn't have any guest models in it. So in about 4 weeks, I think I was given 4 weeks to make the 3 different ultra probes and design them, and then come up with all these alien derelicts. But one particular derelict, the one which was a space station where this dragon, which was actually like this octopus-like creature that sucked people in and spat out their rotting corpses, which was actually really frightening, you know. I mean, in the UK, shown in at 11 o'clock on the Saturday morning, you know. I just think some of the kids were watching it and thinking, this is great. The parents would come in and see this thing. I could just imagine it, you know. And there's these smoking corpses being spat out. I just could not believe this. But anyway, it was just one of those episodes that just grabbed everybody, certainly grabbed me. And I don't know how I did it, but I made these ships up just with, I was going around, you know, shops. We used to have Woolworths still then, not anymore. And used to go to Woolworths, and I actually went into Woolworths and I bought a lampshade, and it had this wonderful veined effect on it. And I used it for, I can't remember what the episode is, but this was in series 2, and I'm sort of jumping forward a bit. But I got this lampshade, and I wasn't worried about the lampshade so much. I liked the inside veins and the thing that became the part I would use as a spaceship. Anyway, this was to come back and kind of haunt me, because some years later, when I was doing the models for Outland with Bill Pearson, I remembered this lampshade and the sketches that we'd got from Peter Hyams, the Lad Company, it was, Peter Hyams, and he, because I actually dealt directly with him. I mean, I didn't work with John Steers at all, really, which was very unusual. When you see Outland, you can see right on the top, you can see these 5 big generator towers, and they're made out of these lampshades, centres, you know. But subsequently used a couple of the lampshades for flying saucers or rounded shapes as well. You know, nothing was wasted. Didn't throw anything away, and all my friends were under sort of strict instructions. My mum, don't throw any mascara tubes away. Literally, quite literally, don't throw anything away. Nothing. And my mum was great because she had worked in theatre a lot. She used to work the lights at the London Palladium, and my grandfather was the chief electrician there, and he'd actually helped me in my earlier life, and encouraged, these two had encouraged me more than my father really to do the sort of work that I wanted to do. My dad was a city businessman, and he just never got quite where I came from, I don't think. Bless him, he's gone now, but he was a good dad, but he just thought I'd come from some other planet, I think. Anyway, made this refinery, did these things, and that had followed on almost immediately from doing Flash Gordon, and these were what I would call the golden years, because I'd come in 1974, right at the beginning of 1974, and when I think that I did Space 1999, I'd already actually done something for another company. I'd made a TV advert with the chimps making PG tips. So it's a tea brand, and I had to make some props for them. But anyway, basically, Space 1999, Into Infinity, or The Day After Tomorrow, which of course has now been made as a film with the same title. So we stick to Into Infinity, in the middle of the 2 series of Space 1999. Finished Space 1999, what a mouthful that is. And Brian said, oh, we've got this thing called the MEDUSA TOUCH coming up. What does it involve? Well, there's models, so we need a building, and we need a jumbo jet to crash into a building. Now, of course, in hindsight, we were to sadly see, obviously, this happen in real life. And believe me, on that day, I was looking at it, and talk about deja vu. I mean, I thought, good grief, that's exactly what we did, except in real life it looked well, it was not terrible. It was terrible. But what we did with models was fairly spectacular, but nothing like the real thing. But anyway.
And at the end of my course, it was a 3-year course, I invited Brian Johnson along. And Brian was someone I had met a year previously. He was working on the second series of Space 1999. And I said, would you like to come along to my degree show? And he went, when is it? I said, well, it's actually Tuesday. And he went, great, I'll come along. And can I bring my ex-wife? We're going through divorce proceedings. And I went, yeah, fine, whatever. They were a lovely couple. And I took them into the college bar. And Brian said, good work. And he said, when do you finish this course? And I said, well, it's actually this Friday. He said, do you want to start on Monday? And I started on Monday at Bray Studios for 5 weeks. I thought, wow, this is it. I've finally hit it. We had to do a 9-foot jumbo jet and a 13-foot tall building, crash one into the other. We were, I mean, I was a model maker on it. I was just dressing this stuff. That was all. And it lasted for 5 weeks. And then suddenly I was out of work because those sods were going off to do, I think it was Revenge of the Pink Panther in Paris. And they didn't require any miniatures whatsoever. So that was me out of work. And while I'd been at college, the head of the visual effects department at the BBC, Michael John Harris, really, liked what I was doing, and he passed my name on to Richard Conway and Ian Scoons. And for Richard, I did a couple of episodes of Doctor Who, and then Ian Scoons said, we're doing this wonderful big budget science fiction TV series called Blake 7. Well, it was never to be wonderful or big budget, but I was involved in it right from the beginning.